Hey guys, so I'm actually out here in my home shop, uh, and this is going to be your first vlog video to watch. Um, I'm going to try to each day post on Classroom a new video for you guys to watch. Um, the project that I'm going to be working on today is going to continue on probably for a couple days, but I kind of thought of this in a couple different ways, but so what I'm going to show you is a little bit of sketching. I already did a couple little sketches here of what I'm going to make. They're not the best either. At this point, they're kind of like thumbnail sketches, so they're really rough, but that's okay for right now. So we'll do a little bit of sketching, and then I'm gonna continue on with the little project that we've been kind of working on class with the model making, right? So the idea is that you guys should be able to pick up one or two things from the video from what I do, and watching what I work on, and then be able to have a little discussion on Google Classroom. So the video will get uploaded to YouTube, and then I'll post the link onto Classroom. I've found that is kind of the best process. So without further ado here, what I'm going to be working on, I have this video game that I play on my phone. It's a race car game. Kind of the only game I've ever played, my whole life is racing games. I'm big racing fan of any kind, whether it's cars or motorcycles or anything. So in my spare time, I like to, just as most people do, play a video game here and there. And this game is pretty fun because you can use your phone as essentially the steering wheel of the car. Well, the only issue with it is, when your hands are on the phone and you're trying to make the car go and turning the phone sideways, it's kind of cumbersome, right? So I saw on a Facebook video or something where somebody took some cardboard and made a little stand for their phone and made a little cardboard steering wheel, and they were able to play their racing game with this little cardboard steering wheel. So I thought it kind of fit our model making activity and something kind of fun. So I'll probably draw one last final sketch of this thing to get us, or maybe a couple, to get us an idea of what we're going to be making, and hopefully as I make this model, you'll pick up a few things. So yeah. I might change camera angles at some point to make it a little bit easier for you guys to see, but this one might work pretty well, so we'll see. So what I've got here are two thumbnail sketches. This design here is essentially you put your phone in this little cage, and it pivots on the center of the cage, and there's an axle attached to the steering wheel. At the end of the axle, there's a rope wrapped around it, and as you turn the wheel one way or the other, it rotates this little cage side to side, allowing you to steer the car in your game. So this might work, and I thought maybe, well, yeah, you can kind of fold all this stuff back in and make it kind of portable. Okay, and then another idea I had where you put your phone in another kind of cage thing, but the steering wheel is actually attached to that cage, and all you got to do is move the steering wheel, and that all is pivoted on another board on the back, or another piece of cardboard on the back, and you can either lean that up, or I'll build something to lean it up. But I might try this one first because it's kind of a simple design. We'll see how it works. If it doesn't work too well, or if I think this one might work better, then we'll go ahead and build this one. So I think I'll draw one more quick sketch here of what I'm thinking. And actually, I think if I draw it in a little bit 3D here, you might see it in kind of an isometric view of what this is going to look like. So again, when you're sketching, these are thumbnail sketches essentially. They're a little big, but my notepad is kind of small, so I really only needed a couple drawings. I had them in my head what I was going for. So those can be really rough, right? Those were super quick, rough drawn. They're all scribbly lines or whatever. But when I draw a concept sketch, I want to be fairly confident in where I'm putting the pencil, where I'm traveling. Okay. So I'm just going to draw this thing. There might be points where I don't talk and you're just kind of watching. But again, try to think of a couple things that you're taking away from this video, because when I post it on Classroom, you'll have to make a couple comments of, hey, I thought, that was really great. That can help me on XYZ project. Okay. Okay, I think I'm fairly happy with that. Little annotation here to represent, hey, that is actually a phone. And the steering wheel might have to be a little bigger in diameter for this thing really to work. But I'm kind of going for like a little bit of an arcade game setup here. So maybe in future revisions of this, the face of this, maybe this is made out of plywood and has a nice veneer over the top of it, or maybe it's got some graphic on the front of it to show like the dashboard of a car or something like that. So some ideas here that could go along. So I'm probably going to give you guys a little bit different angle of a video, and then I'll get to actually making the model. So there's the sketch that I'm going to base my model off of, and let me get set up here, and I will do a little bit of model making. Okay, so I moved the camera a little bit to give you a little better picture of this whole work surface that I've got going on here, but I think what I'm going to end up doing here now, I took like a couple shoe boxes and cut some material out of them, and I just sliced it up with a utility knife. So I wasn't trying to go super straight. So I'll make some nice straight cuts here in just a second, but I think what I'm going to do is something like that, right? And I might even staple them at the top here, or something like that. Maybe hot glue. We'll see. I do have a hot glue gun that I'll get, but and then I think you can use this standing up, and then if I fold it another time, you could probably do it sitting down, something like that. So we'll see how this goes. So this piece is fairly straight. I do think I want to cut this side a little bit straighter. We'll see if, oh yeah, that's going to work real nice. So again, if you remember, just the other day, I explained and stressed that you want to have a straight edge to ride the blade of, either the X-Acto knife or utility knife. Ride that up against that straight edge, because if you try to freehand it, you end up with a cut like that. So we don't want to see that, right? That was just me slicing this stuff out of that shoebox really quick before I started the video. But if I want to make this thing really nice, I put my straight edge up there, get my utility knife out, and run that blade up against that straight edge. Now, again, I'm standing kind of to the side of my knife so that I'm not in direct line with it. So if I do slip, right, I don't cut myself. And there is a super nice straight edge. Like that came out really nice. I'm pretty happy with that. This other edge that I've got here is not bad. So I think I'm going to leave these alone. I'm pretty happy with those. And then I think what I want to do is I think I'm going to fold it, give it a little crease here at the top. And don't be afraid in the comments, like if you see a better way of doing this, I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. And what's nice about model making sometimes is that it really allows you to be kind of creative, and that, nothing is set in stone right now. I'm kind of coming up with this, just on my own. Nothing's nothing really matters here. I'm just kind of messing around with it. Oh, that would be kind of cool right there. If I put a fold on the bottom of this one. So let's straighten this one out a little. See if we can get it the same width as that one. Yeah, I might have to cut this one a little narrower too. Or do I lean it way over? Yeah, I think I want to do that actually. And lean it way over. We'll see. Let's slice it up at least to the same width as this other one. So let's get a nice straight edge over here, and then we'll keep going with it. So really, I'm not going to do any measurements here. I'm just going to do everything kind of freehand so that these videos don't end up being super crazy long. Get a couple straight edges here. Now again, guys, if you've got a cereal box or a pizza box or whatever laying around at home right now, you know, do not be afraid to start messing around with stuff. I know you've got other work to work on in your other classes, but a little bit of creativity time is not so bad. You know, kind of what we're doing with my daughter right now is she's got a few assignments to take care of per day, and then they definitely suggested that we take and have a little bit of creative time. So she's big into crafting. She's got colored pencils and fuzzy pom-poms and all that fun stuff. So, you know, again, as we talked about in class, an engineer, an architect, they might be using that foam core material that it's a lot more presentable in the end than this is, but this is going to work just fine, I think, for what I'm trying to accomplish. Ooh, I'm pretty happy with that. And then we can fold it up. It might need a support in there or something so that it doesn't flop. We'll see how that goes. I might even square this side up a little bit so it's nicer. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. That looks pretty good so far. So we probably should glue this together, and then we can work on, you know, this cage kind of thing. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. This cage kind of thing that's going to hold the phone and the steering wheel at the same time, and it should pivot somewhere in the center. So let me get this stapled together, and then I'll bring you guys back when we start working on the little cage thing. Alright, so I've got it glued together. Actually, off camera, I added a little string in here as a little support so that, you know, when you push down on it, it doesn't want to slide out on you. And I actually put a little hot glue on the bottom edges of these as little grippers, so it should stay pretty stable. Okay, so I'm going to bring you guys back probably tomorrow, and we'll work on the little carriage that's going to have the steering wheel and the phone on it. So that we've got some pivot there for steering. Okay, so hopefully you guys picked up something from the video, whether it was using the straight edge to make nice straight cuts, the safety factor of not standing directly in line with the utility knife, and making sure that we retract the blades when we're not using them. Okay, so this project will take maybe another day for you guys to see it in completion. And we might even go with that other design that I had sketched. We might attempt that one as well, and you guys can decide which one you think is going to work the best. So again, don't be afraid. Pick up some material. Start doing this kind of stuff on your own. We'll catch you later, guys.